Welcome back to 843 TV. We are now joined by Town of Port Royal Councilman Joe Lee. Joe, how are you?
I'm great.
So tell us, obviously we have the theme here today of the Port Royal Sound Foundation. What does that mean to Port Royal, and why are you guys taking a specific interest in this?
Well, it's, for one thing, what people don't really know or realize is we're in Port Royal right now.
Sure.
So this is part of the town of Port Royal, and we're real pleased about that. And the other big issue with Port Royal is that our community touches the Port Royal Sound probably as much as any other community in the county. When you look at it, we have property on Broad River, on Battery Creek, and on the Buford River, and so it's very important to us to protect Port Royal Sound. We've been involved in this, as Chris was saying, back when the Friends of the River was involved, in trying to make sure that everyone understands how they impact Port Royal Sound. And we feel this is a tremendous opportunity for the town to help.
Yeah, this foundation seems like a really good fit with what you guys are all about to begin
Well,
with.
it is, and we've been really pleased to help where we can. So.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Joe, can you explain, what is the town doing as part of the foundation?
Well, I think, Chris, one of the things, other than just supporting the goal of the foundation, one of the things that we're able to do is provide an actual laboratory for some of the things that you talk about. We have the Wetlands and the Rookery open to the public, and people can come here to this facility, see what that's all about, and then in just a few miles go see it in action. The Wetlands portion of our Rookery is a living example of how to treat stormwater. And I think when people see here what stormwater can do and can't do, they can go to the Wetlands and see how we protect all of Port Royal Sound just by retaining a lot of stormwater.
And for people who love birds, they have to know that you can get very close and get great looks at birds at the boardwalk there if they haven't been there yet.
That's what I was going to say. That, to describe it as a detention for stormwater, it doesn't speak much about what it really is. It's a cool place to walk.
That's
It's
right.
a win-win.
That was a freebie. The birds were
exactly.
a freebie.
Yeah.
And in fact, the birds are on their way now. Here it is the 1st of March, and the birds are already coming back. So we know we'll have a great season. So.
Joe, what do you see as some of the challenges for the foundation?
Well, I think I want to echo what Chris was saying earlier about people and understanding. Almost every resident in Port Royal is impacted. It has an opportunity to impact Port Royal Sound. If you think about a drop of rainwater falling in a resident's yard, that makes them responsible for making sure that drop of rainwater doesn't enter Port Royal Sound with anything else with it. Because before the homes were built, that water went into the ground, or if there was enough water, it flowed on into the sound. But now it's going to flow on that person's yard, pick up the dog waste, pick up the fertilizer, and then go to Port Royal Sound. And that's the mission that the foundation is all about, is educating these people.
So it's mainly about prevention and steps you can take for that to not be the case, I guess.
Sure. And what can I do to keep that water clean, and what can I do to keep it on my property if I could? But if it leaves my property, I want to make sure it's not taking anything with it.
And Joe, one of the things I want to point out is that Port Royal does a great job of having open space with a lot of trees. And so there's an important role for these communities to have with their open space. Right. And so Port Royal is a good example of what to do there. So there's a responsibility to the responsibilities, but there are also the community associations, the POAs. They play a very important role too, and you help illustrate what needs to be done there.
Well, and I think one of the issues is, how do you reach all these people, and how do you get them? Because most people, given an opportunity, are going to be complacent and say, well, it's not my problem. I can't see the water, how can it be my problem? But if you look at the maps, we are all involved in the Port Royal Sound. You can't escape it, and we also want to enjoy it. So.
I think the neat thing about the foundation coming online now too is that the county and a lot of the municipalities in Beaufort County have some of the most stringent stormwater control laws, but they're so new, it's hard for the developers to really get on board and you know, see how to do it in a beautiful way, like
Right.
the wetlands walk, you know, and it's all the original wetlands. They're just being repurposed
Right.
with real stormwater ramifications.
So how can the town help spread the word?
Well, I think the mechanism that we all need to use, the town and the foundation and anybody else that wants to keep this sound pristine, is take a lesson from the fire department and the insurance companies. They realize that if we're going to keep house fires down and if we're going to keep insurance rates low for homes, let's educate the children in the elementary school. Since the fire department's been going into elementary schools and educating these students, the rate of fires has gone way down. And I think that's where we have to go. We have to get these elementary students first, here in this center, show them what it's all about, take them to the wetlands, let them see what it looks like in live action, and then they'll go home and tell their parents, don't put that stuff on the yard because it's going to hurt the soil. So that's where I think it has to
That's a
start.
great idea.
And I think the rest of it comes from that. So.
What are some misconceptions quickly that you feel may be out there?
I think the biggest misconception is I'm not involved in the Port Royal Sound. I don't have anything to do with Port Royal Sound, and I think that's the message to everybody out there is you do.
Yeah, we're all.
I mean, especially, and even if you're visiting, you do, because you can do things just visiting. So.
Awesome. Well, great stuff, Joe. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.